Alright, I'm parked at Bunnings with a 6-wheel drive and we've got a problem today. Indicators down there work, but indicators up there don't work. Now, fun fact of these, the trailer wiring on this is actually supplied through a 7-pin round under there. I made this little adapter to parallel in a 7-pin flat, but I think something might have gone wrong with my adapter, so I'm going to pull it off and test it. Alright, we have our adapter here. I can see maybe where our problem is with this, so let's get a meter out. Now, camera angles can be a little bit fun here, and I've pegged this open with a bit of duct tape. A fun fact, the centre in this is ground and the two outers are the left and right indicators. So we've got a meter here, we'll put some probes in it, see what we can do. Okay, we've got a meter in continuity beep mode, so we're going to check our ground, see if that works, wherever that is. I'm over the other side here checking prongs. Should probably note we're not sponsored by Bunnings here. Let's check our ground first for a start. Should be one of these. There's our ground, that's good. Okay, let's check one blinker. So we've got blinker connected on that side, blinker on that side. Okay, so blinker's got good continuity. Wonder what else is going on. Okay, so I've got 2 pins in this socket not coming through from that socket, and I've got every pin from this one working. So being as there's 7 pins and I have connected all 7 up, maybe there's something wrong in the back of that socket, and I think they might be the indicator ones. So let's pull this apart and see what's going on. Alright, I had a bit of a moment of genius. Instead of checking this out, although I did open it and everything works fine, I bypassed everything and the lights are still not working. So I just plugged in as it would have been from factory. So maybe one of those plugs is not working right. Alright, I've climbed under the quarter here. I've taken the cover off the old plug. Nothing seems amiss, so we're going to use the universal Lucas tool here and try and have a probe around with the indicators working. Right, find ourselves underneath. This is the socket that provides the connection to the rear door. This is our working indicator. Now we've found up in here somewhere, if I can poke the right pin, we've found a tail light flasher. So we know we've got good wire to this socket, whereas this socket up here feeds that one. So something in this loom here is a problem, and this is pretty typical Lucas looming. So I might have to chop these zip ties, follow it back till I can find it. Now wouldn't you know, I got bloody lucky. There's this little thing here, there's a joiner, there's our indicator lights on those little joins which are exposed and not insulated. So we can follow them back now. Okay, we've got our loom off. This was wrapped up in looming tape. Now, fun thing about looming tape, doesn't do well outdoors. So I've got a funny loop here which I think is the ground to the chassis. This is our known good connection. This is our known not good connection. And we have 2 wires going to each one. So this looks like this is left and right indicator, or that'll be the driver's side indicator there. That will be the same for the passenger side, I assume. So there's a bit of dirt in that plug. That could have something to do with it. We're going to test each of these and see what we get. Well, amazingly, if we push this at a funky angle, we get indicators on that socket. So I might hit that with some contact cleaner, give it a clean out and plug back in and see what happens. Alright, I've got power up to that one plug. Everything beyond that doesn't work. I think I'm going to chop that plug off, get some 5-pin trailer wire, and either remove that socket or hook up a new 7-pin round socket straight to the end of that and just bypass the other one that's up there. I think that might solve our problem. So, good old Bunnings doesn't have trailer wire or trailer plugs. At least not this one. So, we're going for a drive. Going to find a Super Cheap Auto somewhere. Okay, the easy to get to Super Cheap Auto store was closed. They've relocated. So I found myself a Repco shop and a roll of trailer wire. Alright, so here's the original socket that's just come off. I chopped it off. We'll work out all the pinouts in a minute. But yeah, this might be fun. Try the contact cleaner, we'll see what happens. Alright, some familiar looking wiring colours coming out of this. Better take a photo. Okay, so I got 5 core instead of 7, and there's a black wire in here that's a reinforcer. I was hoping for 7 so I could include this extra ground. Black has been replaced for white, otherwise colour for colour. That one's our ground wire. We'll strip an additional conductor out for that and hook that up separately. Okay, we've got the socket back in place. We can probably put the U back in. Get a wire running over to this side. We will join this to that soon enough when we match the colours. That's our ground wire that will go to that one. Hopefully this works. Alright, we've got things soldered. Probably not great. Gotta love that Ryobi soldering iron. Anyway, let's test. Okay, indicators. No indicators. Alright. Okay, so we've fixed the wiring to the cable. We still don't have lights. I did miss the extra ground cable. I hooked that up, didn't change things. The other problem, I've had to replace this in the past because this flexes every time I open and close the door. There may be a connection problem in there. I don't know. I can pull that off and check the wiring there. I might do that, but I'm starting to get the shakes because it's about to get dark, and might not be sensible to embark on that right now, but I do need to get to my campsite soon. As with every time I open this and find a problem, there's red dirt in the middle. So I'm pretty sure these have done some desert running. Alright, we've got the cover off and there's a convenient connector here. And this is the joint I did last time, so let's see what we can do. Alright, well we have indicator power up at the top. That's good news. Alright, next step, we see if we've got power up the top here. Kind of have power, it's really dim. Have we got a ground problem maybe? Alright, so just turn headlights on. Probably not a grounding issue. So something on those lines. Okay, so a wise man knows when to quit and walk away, and right now I need to walk away. The only bit of wiring I can determine that's likely the problem is between that plug and to the light itself. That shouldn't be too hard to run a new bit of wire from there. I can get to the wire from this side. I, in theory, should be able to run a new bit all the way across. We'll work that out. I don't know just yet, but either way, I'm going to try and make it to campsite before dark and work on it more in the morning. Alright, well it's dark now. I made it to camp. I found a free camp out behind a pub. I'm trying to save some battery here so I can run my projectors instead of boiling vessels, so I'm using the gas instead. So anyway, cup of tea, sleep and work on lights in the morning.
Alright, well I guess I can't sleep in. The rainbow lorikeets have got other ideas. Alright, let's have some breakfast and get stuck back into this.
Alright, so change of plans. I got a call to go and pick up a diesel heater from my neighbour, so I had to change locations. But I'm in a Macca's car park now. Probably a little easier than soft, wet, mushy ground. Alright, we'll work it out again. Right, we're at yet another location. I kept getting funny looks, so I moved on. Okay, so we have worked out on this connector here that our green and blue wire are our left and right indicators. Now up in here, this is our stop, this is our other lights, and then we have our indicator off behind this metal bit here. There are 2 black wires that go in there, but there's a green and a blue that head off this way. So somewhere just in behind here where I can't get this out, they join to a black wire for some stupid reason. I reckon there's probably another connector in there. Don't know why. It would be totally stupid, but that's the way these things are wired. Alright, something is making sense here. I undid some tape here. There's 2 black wires right here. If you can see, these 2 black wires come from that rear light. They both go into the ground. So there must be enough differential current across that to just get a couple of volts. So I need to chop one of them and then splice it onto this for some reason. Now of course I've got one little issue. I've got a 50-50 chance of cutting the negative wire instead of the positive. So and because they're LED, that matters. So I don't think they've got a bridge rectifier in these ones. So I guess I'll chop one and I'll see what works. Okay, so new frustration. Both those black wires are both grounds. I've traced them back using a little bit of leader wire, and the blue wire, which is that indicator, does connect to it. So yeah, Seems like the wiring's intact. Maybe it's the light. Right, so new development. That wire is actually blue. It's turned black over time. Alright, so I think the wiring's probably okay. And it's not the light, we're only getting 5 volts in here. Something's up with the wiring. Alright, so I had an epiphany. After I'd redone the grounds, I started the engine and we've got flashing lights again. Alright, volt drop. Alright, we're going to put that back together, insulate some stuff, leave the engine running because the sun's gone away, batteries need to charge anyway. So let's sort it out. Alright, so the lights mostly work as best they can with a whole heap of voltage drop. I guess that's because I've got like 300 different connectors and Lucas wiring in between the front. I may make a relay box to shove in under here and plug in and run a nice heavy 12 volt lead back from the front. Also with these things, because they used to have orange revolving lights, or sorry, red revolving lights on the top, and I changed them to orange, these are 24 volt. And the change to orange was for legal reasons, and because they're 24 volt, there used to be 3 globes in the red stoplights in the back here, the third being a flasher on 24 volt globe on the same circuit as that. There is an extra wire for that. I wanted to make the orange ones flash like hazard lights when I've got the orange ones on, so I may add a 24 volt relay in there to switch 12 volts to those lights, which will then probably backfeed everything, make it like hazards. Don't know, some mods to do for the future, but for the moment people understand when I'm towing a trailer that I'm turning, which is most important so I don't attract the attention of the coppers anymore. But for now, we are at yet another location, and I'm going to go see if there's some rabbits out here that need to be unalived. So we'll see you all later, and hope it was an interesting video.